If you were a more introverted individual like me, you've most likely realized how much of a difficult feat it can be to accomplish face-to-face speaking. Some people just flow better online, you know? Clubs, concerts, and even conventions can be very hard for people to go to. Maybe there's too many people for one's liking, maybe the travel cost is too costly. Both of these factors and then some can make these people-ruled locations hard for people to actually have the will to actually get themselves to go to. That's why Roblox to many has been known as an online social hangout in the past, and this is backed up by how many clubs and concerts are on the platform. So, yeah, let's just take a little look-sees at these games to see if Roblox is somehow better than in-person speaking. I highly doubt it, but come on, man, let's give it a chance. Here is my outro space. This is the last thing you see in my videos, well, including this one, actually. This is where I'll be rating each game, and here we have 3 tubs, and yeah, this is self-explanatory. I'll give a little introduction, give my thoughts, and then place the game into its respective category. Alright, let's start. The very first game that comes to my mind when I think of Roblox clubs is Club Iris. If I had a top 50 or so favorite games list, I'd probably insert this game into those Sid 50 games. This brings back some memories, dude. I just used to muck around with my buddy Zilts in this game, just trolling. I wouldn't condone trolling anymore, as again, I was a bit immature back then, but yeah, I did that. Now, this game is a club. I wouldn't say it's anything super special, but I mean, it has its charm. Now, I'm no building head, but despite this, I believe the building for this game is excellent. This game genuinely feels like a place that could exist in real life. However, a hefty chunk of the map is just emptiness. This game truly could benefit from more decoration. You see the sign near the DJ stand? Why not have more of that? Why not have some posters, plants, more colors? For example, there is this area in the game called The Lounge. This place looks nice. It has some personality to it. There's some cool looking rocks on the floor, and look, there's even a poster. There's some more decoration as well as some lamps. I just wish that the rest of this map had this amount of decoration, as again, most of the map feels pretty bare. Probably the worst offender as the emptiness thing is the sword fighting room. There should be like statues here, or even just like portraits or something. You see these ring sword looking things? Yeah, that's a fun little detail. I can interact with it. It's more detail. Now, I'm not asking them to wildly decorate this place, because I'm not asking for a Wonderland Grove type decoration. I'm just asking for the minimum. Kind of like an Easterbury Canals type of decoration. And yes, I should probably follow my own advice. In addition, most of the architecture feels like it's made out of plastic for some reason, and that's probably because it is. This game really could benefit from more variety in material. I mean, they use carpet and it's great type material, so that's a good start. And even outside, they use some more, like there's a lot of brick, concrete, plastic, and neon. But honestly, I think this game looks fine just how it is. Seriously, the ceiling in this game is just mesmerizing. And again, that design near the DJ stand is really quite great. And to be fair, I'm gonna cut them some slack because this game, well, at the time of writing this, isn't beta. But honestly, I gotta say this game is outstanding for just a beta. I didn't even know it was a beta because the quality of the building was pretty decent. And it didn't really feel like an in-development game, besides the sword style. So, guys, gals, great job. Now, of course, there's activities to do besides grooving and yapping, of course. There's some gears, a sword fighting room, that's really cool. And there's even some hotels. While a cool feature, I would absolutely not pay for this. Honestly, if you just want to chill with your buddies without having to deal with others, just get a private server. They're free. In the future, I would like to see more of these extra additions, maybe like a food court or a clothes shop, especially a clothes shop, considering there's an Infamous Productions, the developers behind this game, line of merchandise. And I don't know if this is already in the game or not, but I think it would be swell if we can go up to the DJ stand. They can make this a game pass, but that's just really lame. If they still want to make this an exclusive area, however, they could theoretically choose whoever chose the custom song to be up there, I guess. And maybe once you've paid for it once, you can just hang out there all you want. Not sure how much of a great idea that is. And there's also this possibility that this is literally in the game right now. However, when I looked up Club Iris DJ on YouTube, I didn't find anything. There's also another idea I had, but it's not related to any of the places in the game. I would really dig it if they allowed synced dancing, kind of like mocap dancing, because this is just awesome. Now, of course, I threw a lot of ideas out there, and I am by no means expecting them to add everything I listed here, as that would take a lot of development time, but I would like it if they at least add one of them. Now, there's one last thing I would like to discuss here. It's not anything that adds or subtracts from my final rating of the game, since I don't think it's fair, but let's talk about the players that inhabit this game. Once again, I don't think it's very fair to say a game is bad because it has bad players, but unfortunately, I'm not too big of a fan of how people present themselves in this game. If I had to give a generalization of how most goons act on this server, I would probably redirect you to Roblox Wiki's page on list of controversial users. This is a page on the site where they document users that have had a rather controversial past, along with groups of people. Keep in mind that these are stereotypical examples. Not everybody acts like this if they dress like this, and vice versa. So, let's read. Aesthetics are players who utilize specific items often associated with emo, e-girl/e-boy, or hip-hop culture. They are often disliked by most of the Roblox community due to their association with having generally toxic attitudes, comparable to such as bypassing swear words, explicit messages, or offensive slurs that pass the Roblox chat filter. The subculture of users has been commonly associated with the romanticization of depression and other mental disorders, which can be seen as ableist as well as online dating. Rarity, somewhat common, usually in games such as clubs or roleplay games, and occasionally ragdoll games such as Ragdoll Engine. Gathered with this information, I took it upon myself to join this game for 5 whole minutes, and I will see just how accurate this description is to the server I just so happened to join. Don't worry, I'll be sure to Christianitize all the cursing for all you kiddos watching out there. Keep in mind this might be a little cherry-picked, as I'm only going over the bad attributes, and again, this is one server. Well, and for one last thing, for transparency's sake, this is technically my second attempt at recording this, as last time I think I went over the 5-minute mark. Anyways, let's do this. Freak! Bro, at least have some decent style. My face costs more than your rent. I don't know how I'm supposed to censor that. He's doing it again. Ugh. Barfing emoji. Leave her to rot. He is doing it once again. Boo! Imagine being poor! Dude, back the heck off. Imagine copying others to get a 50-year-old son or what? Just as a little side note, most of these examples were probably just by trolls trying to get attention. And when I read the description for the aesthetic stereotype, I didn't read it as if like every aesthetic act like that, because you can identify as non-aesthetic and still act like this and vice versa. And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this situation, I'm more so focused on the quality of the game. So I'm not overreacting to the players, just keep that in mind. The servers are actually, I think, are getting a little bit tamer, which I commend. Good job, guys. In conclusion, Club Iris is actually pretty decent. I mean, I wouldn't catapult it to good or anything, but I'm very proud of the work that the developers have put into the 2 years of this game, and I'm sure this game will be outstanding when it's finished. However, it could use some more content, decorations, and then I think it'll be good. Now for a little bit of a throwback. Club Boats is a very, very early example of a club game being released back in 2010. This game unfortunately has lost its relevance gig, and with that fact alone, I'm not going to be critiquing this game because I want them to improve stuff, as I mean, the dev hasn't updated this game in a minute, so therefore I'll be taking a look at this game to see how far we come in terms of clubs. I will say, this game visually, I would say, is technically better looking than Club Iris. Sure, the building is very simple, but there's a lot of color, more variety in material, and decoration compared to Club Iris. Those strobe lights are seriously cool, and I like some of the floor effects. There's statues, plants, posters, all the decorations I suggest a Club Iris to have. Also, not to mention, the dances are pretty decently animated, especially for a 2010 game. And there was even this gear that somebody used to make their avatar look like mine. I don't know how they got it. Could have been VIP, I guess? But besides that, there's actually not that much to do. Of course, this game's meant for more than 2 people. But I don't know, I actually had some weird fun playing Club Iris by myself. I guess it was the amusement of strolling around a rather sizable map by myself, but yes. Yeah, I only played this game for 7 minutes, and I apparently have enough to write a script about it. Although, I do like the bathrooms in this game. Let me explain. There's some cool little rooms that I think really add to the world building of this game in the bathroom. Like a locker room, showers, and this kind of hot tub kind of area. This is the type of stuff I love in games, just random extra rooms that didn't need to be there. That's actually kind of why I love Bake a Cake Back for a Second so much. There's so much side content and just useless features that are so fun to complete. And if I ever make a club game, I would definitely add stuff like this. One thing I'd like to know is there's actually a Club Boats branded gear for this game. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. But overall, this is alright. It showed how far we've come in terms of Roblox clubs, and I did like the colorful map. And it's filled with decoration. However, nobody's playing it right now, so I didn't really have the full experience. So, here. The third and final game I will be discussing is Club Hearts. Now, this is more of an obscure game, well, at least compared to the other two, but honestly, I would just go as far to say this game is underrated. Spawning in, I already had a good feeling about this game because there's an accessories building, so that free-to-play characters can spice up their avatars. I really like stuff like this, and it allows everybody to express themselves completely free of charge. Although, I would add a little bit more to it, though. I would add accessories such as ink head, evil side, helmet goggles, and even some Halloween items like Lord Van Pumpkining the First, candy corn ears, and the pumpkin beret. I just wish they really had some more variety here because for some reason all of the items are either black or white. Besides that, I'm glad this is a feature at all, and keep in mind this game is also in beta. There's a sort of currency, I guess you can call it, called hearts. Now this is actually kind of a cool feature because not as many people are playing this, such as say Iris, so I feel like it's actually possible to get on these leaderboards. And speaking of that, I felt a weird sense of community playing this considering the small amount of people playing this game. Like this one guy or gal I saw displayed in the beginning of the game that I later saw in the game. I felt like I was part of a small yet loyal community, and I commend them for that. And speaking of people, you can actually sync dances with others. Not to mention there are countless gears in this game, a dueling system, and small side content. You actually have a game that has quite a bit going for it. Of course, I think they should add more, maybe like some hobbies, secret badges, and whatnot, somewhat akin to Bake a Cake Back for Seconds, but I don't want them to go too overboard with it. I still want this to be a club after all, and as much as I like Bake a Cake, I rarely do the cake making, and I just explore the map looking for the side content. Another thing I wish for the devs to add is some more decoration, think of club boats. But not that much, because this is a much larger map, and once again, this game is in beta, so I can kind of understand. One final thing I wish for them to change is the interface of the menu. There's no animation for it when it pops in, and it looks a little bit bland. Please spruce it up a little bit, give it its own personality, and for some reason, this user interface is weirdly inconsistent. Sometimes the boxes are rounded, the font changes for it sometimes there's an outline on the button, sometimes there's not, the size of the outline changes size, color, it's a bit messy, but I'm sure they'll fix it eventually. And again, this game's in beta. Not to mention, the audio is a little strange, because if you move your camera, the music shifts between a headphone. I don't know if you'll notice this without using them, but I noticed it, and it sort of bugged me. Here is an example in Roblox Studio. I inserted a sound, and I wrote a script for it, playing game. And when I shifted my camera around, it stayed consistent. But when I played the song in a boombox, it changed. But besides that, yeah, that was actually pretty good. I hope they continue with this game in the future. Definitely feels early in development, but still, they're doing an excellent job. My final thoughts on the whole club games thing is that I wish they had more side content to them, and to be honest, they're really not my thing, because I prefer more action-focused games like Epic Minigames, Robot 64, Icon 2018, Super Doom Inspire, the works. So, I guess the genre is just... No, stop! Stop!